So I welcome everyone. My name is Monica, and first of all, a big thank you for joining in because it just shows that you may be interested in the topic that we are going to explore today. And we are going to touch upon what it is to live an explorative life, what it is to live a sensitive life. Maybe maybe we need to redefine our definitions of sensitivity. Maybe we will just explore and what is it to truly be sensitive, what it is to truly be able to feel things in life. Now, are we ever able to feel anything in life, or are we somewhere always in a rush to meet up our expectations and demands from maybe people, relationships, job, my own life? Always are we in a rush? Because if we are in a rush, would we give ourselves time to feel, right? So this is a again an open space, and I would invite any sort of sharings, questions relevant to whatever our topic of discussion is today. Um, yeah, and if you are comfortable, put on the video. If you are not comfortable, audio is also okay. You can share in the chat window if you want to share, or you can unmute and share. So yes, I want to bring our attention to our day-to-day life. And please, whenever you are ready, just unmute and share. Our day-to-day life, is it a sensitive life? Because usually whenever we talk about I am very sensitive, whenever we use this term that I am sensitive, we say it because we feel hurt most of the times, right? So somebody says something and I am hurt, so I put my label on myself that I am very sensitive. But is it really true? I want to ask. Imagine that there is a earthquake meter, you seismometer, or whatever it is called, which records the intensity of the tremors. Now imagine that a machine, because a machine needs to be really highly sensitive to record these disturbances, right? So imagine that there is this machine which will record the tremors. What will happen if the machine is recording a tremor and it just records, like the impression of the tremor is so strong that the machine is like, it is depressed owing to the tremor. It never comes up back to the normal state again. Would we ever be able to use that machine again? So we need a certain kind of suppleness there, right? Can we see that it's almost like a sponge? So the machine has to be like a sponge, so it records the tremor, but it also jumps up to the normal condition because it has to record the tremor again. And this is what is we call as suppleness of the mind. Now this machine, imagine that this machine is hurt. What do we call as hurt? I am hurt. The machine records a tremor and it is depressed. It never rises up to its complete, suppleness. Would this machine not be a distorted machine? Would it ever be able to record with the same sensitivity the tremor again? Because it has distorted. The first impression fell and it's distorted. It's almost landing your feet on a wet cement. It leaves a very strong impression forever almost. So, would we call that suppleness of the mind? Or would we call this suppleness of a mind that it's like a sponge? It records the sensitivities, the movements of life, but then it jumps back to the original condition. It records, it jumps back. It records, it jumps back. Would we not call this suppleness and softness and sensitive mind? I was just thinking about this, like reflecting upon this, and I realized that our so-called definitions of sensitivity are so distorted, as if we never care to look at it, I would say that I am sensitive if somebody said something and I felt really hurt. So it's like somebody put the feet on the wet cement, and I there is a depression I'm feeling, and I'm never able to go back to the the softness of the wet cement again, because it's just a depression. It has solidified itself. So what do we mean by true sensitivity then? It's almost like we have to rediscover the meaning of sensitivity. Because if I am with a mind which is always hurt, ready to be hurt, I will not be able to be sensitive. The example that I gave of the seismometer, if the machine is hurt with the first disturbance of the earthquake, it will never be able to again record the tremor because it has lost its suppleness. So can we ask ourselves why our minds are not that supple? What has happened over these past years that we have lost this suppleness, the spring like character, the suppleness, the flexibility of the mind? When we look at a newborn, maybe an infant or a toddler, they are supple, they are so supple, and that's why they are so attractive. Each and everyone in adults, it's like they're pulled towards the infants. Why? Because the nature has designed it so beautifully that if it wants to, it cannot be not supple. The mind is very supple, very plastic. An infant is one with the whole environment. It's truly sensitive. Something happens, it cries, and when the stimulus is gone, the cry is over. There is no remnant, there is no residue of that cry. That is that not then true sensitivity? We say that I am a very feeling person, I feel a lot, and that's why I get hurt a lot. But is it really true? When I'm really caring to feel, will I allow myself to get hurt? Because in getting hurt, the feeling will not be able to be there. You're imagine that we are taking a walk in the morning. It needs a certain calmness and quietness in the body, in the whole being, to be able to stop and observe a dead ant or a fly. If I have agendas in the mind, okay, 1 hour of a run and get done with this, all my game has to be over, I will not care to stop and look at the dead ant or a fly or even a live butterfly. I would not care. So where are we running to? And what has this running given us? Shall we not stop to ask? Because we see the manifestation of this running in our world, in our society. Everyone is running, not even us. And then we say that people are so rude. For example, when we go out somewhere, is it not a mirror of our own numbness? Because we don't have time to care and to look and feel, so why would they have time to care? And they have their own agendas and expectations in mind. They have their own to-do list for which they are running. So why would they stop to care and look and feel and touch and be sensitive? And in absence of that sensitivity, the life that we have created for ourselves, it's virtually an hell. A hell. Every day is a struggle. Why am I here? Questions like these. Why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Because I just do not stop to care and look and feel. So these questions have to arise in the being. Why on earth am I born? So I feel that, is it not our responsibility as a human being, when I expect the society to be sensitive and to have more care and feel and love, is it not my own duty and responsibility to look what kind of a life am I living? Do I have time to care and look? Or am I just running after my expectation, desires, and demands of what to do in a materialistic life? Because there it is just opposite of sensitivity. An industrial culture, a consumerist culture would not ask you to look and care. It would feed on your insecurities. The more insecure we are, it will say, yes, get the deo and impress the girl. Be insecure. Because if you are not insecure, how would you buy my deo? It's impossible. You would be in love with your body smell. I would not be able to uh, make my business then. So the whole system is like that. Shall we not stop and care to challenge why the system is like that? Because I am like that. There is no almost hardly any innocence left in us. And if we go to the root of the word innocere, from Latin, it's the capacity, the ability of not getting hurt. Now, I found it so beautiful. Innocence is the ability, capacity not to get hurt. And we say that little children are so innocent. That's what we say. And because they don't get hurt, they cry when they cry. They feel this, they are sensitive, they feel, but their minds don't get hurt. Even children around 6 to 7 years of age also, they're engaging in some troubles and fights, but within few minutes they're back to the normal again. There is so much of suppleness in them. So the mind still has not been that distorted that it's like become like wet cement. The moment something falls, it will be just hurt forever. And like us adults, years after that hurt has happened, we'll just ruminate about that hurt in the mind, again and again, make it real for us, make life hell for us. And in that vicious trap of the loop, I then don't stop and pause and look and care. I don't even see the new colors of the leaves around me. I don't have time because my mind is so distorted and occupied within itself. It's like a whole world it has created here, like the word which is right there in front of me. The mind is not there, it's not attentive. It's just lost in some other realm. So, this kind of a mind which is trapped in the past hurts. Would it care? Would it be supple? Would it be sensitive? Would it care to feel? And what kind of a society will it create then? You go by chance, just happen to go to some, government systems or police stations or wherever. You see the tragedy that we have created for ourselves. It's really a tragedy, owing to the lack of sensitivity in our own personal lives. As if one day at a time is not enough. I just need to achieve and to become. So, what shall we do? This is just kind of invoking questioning. What is to be done? Is there anything to be done? Or maybe not? I don't know. Yeah.
Hi, Monica. Yeah. So I think the question, just as you said, it's a uh, it's a question that has probably come through many centuries, I'm sure. So just to, I mean, I think today is mother's birthday, and so happy birthday to her. And so I have, and it just so happened that this morning somebody had called and, sort of said that I'm just sending a picture over of their darshan time. And this person happened to be, I mean, they've been part of the school for very many years, and right from their childhood. So it was a picture of mother sitting around with children, and I think these children and saying stories, I think, or whatever. It's birthday time, so I think they used to come. Uh, so I think that's where, like you said, right, the children bring out that there is no question of like, they get hurt, and that's it, and they don't bring it up again, because they don't say that, oh, you hit me last time, so I'm still getting
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a the thing is, I think we're so hardwired. We've created circumstances and situations, or conditions, like you said, right? I mean, um, so to challenge that
Mm.
is probably going to be, and see, you and I might raise the question, another third person may raise the question, and then we might speak about it.
Mm.
But to truly speak about it uh, in a larger section of society,
Mm.
so exactly, the question will come back to you and say, you are so very sensitive, why are you getting into all this?
Mm.
So again, the sensitivity is not related to about, it is, like everything affects you.
Mm. Mm.
It's not that, yeah, I mean, it's not about that,
Yeah.
because then you're building a story around it, right?
Mm.
But truly, like we said, I think if, yeah, some of us can probably so one of my questions probably would be to, how did we get here?
Mm.
And and yeah, what if some of us could probably share what it truly means to be sensitive, something that I would really like to
Mm.
probably just hear. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Monica. Aditi here.
Hi, Aditi.
Hi. So interestingly, when I saw the topic for today's discussion, again, as I had said one more, I think a couple of weeks back, that it's almost like by chance, whatever I'm going through seems to appear in the form of one of the discussion topics here. So I was like, okay, I have to attend this. So I timed my day in a way where, I'm downstairs walking and I'm attending the call, so was really looking forward to it. But what I want to be able to discuss here, or I'll just leave that question with you, that uh, I consider myself one of the, I'm usually the most sensitive person in a room, for example, right? Whether it's my family, or whether it's my colleagues, whether it's my friend circle, or, and I don't know, I mean, that's my way of looking at myself. I might be wrong, but in 41 years of life, I feel I've always been a little bit more on the sensitive side. But when you began talking, you spoke about the whole fact that the hurt that comes with sensitivity, and I quite relate to it, and especially in close relationships.
Mhm.
And so I just want to put it on the table, and I'll welcome comments as well from others, that the moment I feel there is a label, and of course the label comes with the conditioning and all that, I understand the rationale behind it, but I think still for me it's a challenge, it's work in progress. The moment I label a relationship, for me, my sensitivity levels, or the chances of getting hurt, the expectations, all of that go up. And the moment the labels are not there, I experience myself as a completely different person. So it's almost like, I want to remove all labels, but I can't, right? Like, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. How do I do that? So is it like just, working on your mind and continuing to work on your mind and slowly sort of getting there? Or is there any other advice that you all will have for me?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that there, and maybe we can discuss it in
Yeah.
the due course.
Yes, Aditi. Yeah, thank you. There are many things which I would like to touch upon from your sharing, Aditi. First thing is that you are sharing that whenever expectations are there, you see that there is also hurt along with that. I am asking all of us, when there is expectation in my life, is sensitivity also there? Because when I have expectation in my mind, I am like this, right? This must be done. This must be done. This is what I should, be getting. Maybe approval, maybe, rejection, whatever the expectation is running, kind of making me run towards. So I am asking you that to be truly sensitive and to also expect, can they coexist together? Imagine that I am expecting to reach to a particular place uh, at exactly this time. Maybe I have a set time at which I have to reach to a particular place. So there is an expectation in my mind. The expectation is by 8:05 I must reach the place. Now in that expectation, when I go towards that place, I will be, maybe taking streets and gullies and all that. Can I be really sensitive in that running?
Probably not, because I think I'll overlook a lot of things which need
Exactly.
a little bit more time and attention.
Exactly. Exactly. So then it seems that sensitivity cannot possibly coexist with demanding and expecting. Because demanding and expecting, what it makes me do is it makes me focus on a certain result, right? I am concentrated on a certain result, right? In concentration, I wall myself. I cannot be attentive. So sensitivity cannot coexist then together with a concentrated attempt to fulfill a demand. It's almost like they cannot coexist together. It's impossible. So, in order to be truly sensitive and attentive, I would actually need to be in a space where there is no rush. Because if I am really focused and concentrated and want to meet my demand of reaching this place at 8:05, I will miss many beauties on the road. I will miss taking care for a stray dog, maybe handing him over some water or whatever. I will miss looking like a plant coming out from cement. I will miss that. I will miss all that. So can you call this a sensitive life, where I am always found running towards my agendas? Yes, concentrated on my agendas, but really not attentive to life. So the first half is this, that with expectation and demands will come hurt. Why? Because there is an expectation. I have made an image in my mind that if life does not happen this way, it's going to be bad. So the moment life hits me the other way around, I am hurt because I expected something else. I was too concentrated on one kind of a result. The hurt has to be there, will be there. A hammer cannot strike into air. A hammer cannot hurt air. It can hurt only a wall. So whenever we say that I am hurt, somewhere there is a wall, there is a boundary of image that I have created of how I am and how life should be. And whenever life throws a hammer on it, that it breaks, it shatters, it's apart. Life says, babe, your image is just an image. Life is life. You know, I am hurt. I am hurt. I am deeply hurt. And if I am deeply hurt, I will be more like a wet cement on which a foot has been placed and it is distorted forever. Now, this is not like a sponge on which the hammer strikes, and when the hammer is lifted, the sponge is back to its suppleness. So when I talk to you, I'm realizing that sensitivity requires a lot of suppleness. Sensitivity requires a lot of innocence, the ability not to get hurt. That's our challenge. Because whenever I have an image about myself, I can be sure that it is going to be hurt someday or the other. And it is good that it is hurt, because whenever I hear a comment and I feel hurt, I can tell myself, babe, you just made an image of yourself. You are not an image. And it's the images that get hurt. It's the wall of images on which the hammer strikes. If there is no image at all that I have about myself, the hammer will keep on striking in the air and I will be free of all the strikes. And that is innocence. So this part on the hurt and the being sensitive, as you were sharing, Aditi. And the second part, you say that the labels are there. How can I not have labels? I see you, you are here. I see you. Hear your voice. I listen to your words, but I cannot hear any labels talking. Where are the labels? Where really are the labels that you so surely believe that they are? Where are they? I am seeing Shruti here, I am seeing Ritu here and Nandini here, and I am seeing myself here. Where are the labels? So you
In our
are,
minds.
yeah, exactly. Right? So they are actually not there. And Aditi, minds create everything. Mind are full of imaginations, right? So can I just make my figment of imagination a reality and get so stuck to it, so sticking to it, that I say, oh my God, how can I remove it? How can I remove it? Can I not see that it's a creation of mind? Have you not fantasized? Have you not daydreamt? Can I call that a reality? So if there is a label that is so forced by the society on me, for example, a label of being a mother, a label of even being a female, because it's a label after all, right? I have a body, I am not the body. So being a female is also a label that I carry. Now I am asking all of us, what is the need to carry those? And have we benefited really? If we had benefited, there would be no questioning really. So ask yourself, have these labels been benefiting yourself? Are they expanding yourself? Are they giving you better and better horizons to expand? Or are they limiting and suffocating in nature? Today, if I call Aditi, you are a highly insensitive person. I don't want to talk to you. So just because I say that you are insensitive, does it make you insensitive? Who am I to judge? I don't even know how to judge myself. How can I judge you? So I am asking, is there a life possible? Is there a life possible without the need of excessive focus on labels? Labels may be there. I may be a mother, I may be a wife, I may be a teacher or whatever. I may have my name. Name is also a label. I am saying, does the excessive focus need to be there? And is it really benefiting us? Has it benefited me so far? Or has it strangulated me? In limited, suffocating roles? Has it strangulated me? So why do I give it so much of, focus or priority? Just because it is coming from all the sides, right? Billions of us are telling us. So we say, yes, it has to be, there has to be something to it, because otherwise why millions of us would say that they exist? So
I
can
think,
we,
Monica, it has been like a. Can I say something?
please, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's like a default mode that we have operated in over the years, right? So it's like an autopilot mechanism which is embedded in us.
Yeah.
But now that we are exploring an alternate way of living through lots of other practices, somewhere now you realize the same thing which probably didn't bother you earlier has started to bother you now
Yeah.
in every aspect of your life, right? I think so. It's more like you want to move towards a more integrated living.
Yeah.
um, because पहले शायद ignore करना आसान था, but now I don't want to ignore it. It's really suffocating because when you experience that liberation,
Mm.
then you just want to revel in it. You want to stay there. So yeah, I think that's where I am, and maybe
Beautiful.
when we talk one to one, I'll take it up.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, Aditi, what you said is really very important, that earlier I was living in a mode where I was not sensitive to these strangulations. And now I cannot help but notice them. I think this is really the beginning of sensitivity. As if I have been living in chains for all these years, as you said, has become my default pattern. And for all of us, not only for you talking here, you are sharing it for all of us. And now, as I'm awakening to my own self, I am seeing, oh my God, there are chains I am living with. And I don't feel fine here. I don't feel fine here. This is the beginning of sensitivity. This is true sensitivity, intelligence, that there is no need for me to carry this default mode, not anymore when I'm waking up to it. This is intelligence, because it will be actually really dumb to carry those chains, which now I notice and I see that they are not benefiting me, and still carry them because I have been carrying them for 40 years. So that would be really dumbness. That would not be sensitivity. So that was really very interesting and beautiful, that now I'm beginning to notice it, and having tasted liberation even once, I know that a different kind of a living is possible. That is where we gain our strength from, each moment of our life, because you have a taste of that. And inherently, something in us knows which way in our life is right and liberating, and which way is not really, for me to follow. Something in us knows. What is that something? Should we not trust that intelligence? Because that has not been conditioned. We have not been told about this something in our subjects that we read in 14 years of our studies or 16 years of studies. We have not been have any lectures on awakening of intelligence. No, not at all. So it is something which is untouched element in each one of us. It has not been conditioned. This power of understanding, this power of knowing what is the right way to live, it's completely untouched and lies with ourselves 24/7. So, should we still trust what the society tells me or the book tells me? Or should I go by this intelligence? So, this is the beginning, the ray of true sensitivity. That yes, it appears hard to go against the society, the norms, so called, the norms and rules and all that. And yet it appears right. Yet it appears right. And the more we follow this inherent intelligence, the more we become able to use it in our lives. It's almost like gymming a muscle. We go first day, it's like pains and hurts because we have not used that muscle for a long time. Then we go the second day, the third day, and then we slowly are stronger and stronger. That muscle has been almost recuperated for exercise now, right? It has gotten its strength back. Why? How has it gotten its strength back? owing to the use and recognition of that muscle. So the muscle of intelligence is almost like this. The more I practice intelligence, and with intelligence comes sensitivity, they are tied together. Intelligence and sensitivity are tied together. So they are both going together. With intelligence also will come suppleness of the being. With intelligence also will come the capacity of not being hurt again and again, the innocence of a child. So all these are like, it's like a bouquet that goes together, innocence, intelligence, love, blossoming of my life, attention to life, to find details of life. And as you were sharing that I cannot ignore this anymore. Isn't that beautiful? I found it really beautiful. That I have been living in a drain for 40 years, and I'm talking of each one of us. We are living in a drain. And the moment I realize that I have a sense, I can smell, I don't need to be in the drain anymore. I can clean up. And now I will not be able to tolerate the drain after having this acute sense and sharp sense of sensitivity about the drain smell, that it's not hygienic to be there. So far I have been dumb, but now do I need to follow the dumbness? So this is really, something that you have touched upon, which is truly beautiful if it flowers, if it begins to flower in our life. Without this, a radical change in society cannot come. Society is a mirror image of our own being. Yeah. So Shruti has written somewhere, I guess we call it labels and don't like it when we only want the benefits of it and not things that we don't like that come along with it. Shruti, would you like to elaborate upon it?
Sure. I was just talking about the fact that since Aditi mentioned labels and you were talking about it, you said that the fact that labels are making you uncomfortable is that whatever comes with it is making you uncomfortable. Like, let's say, motherhood, right? Being called a mother also gives you so much of benefit, pleasure, but we don't talk about it. But somewhere, if it's suffocating,
Mm,
so I also feel that because we are expecting, right? I only want good things from it. I don't want certain things and the expectations. And that's where we get stuck in terms of labels.
mm.
That's all I wanted to
Beautiful. Yeah.
share there.
Yeah.
And also, I also felt when you were talking about the fact that the moment we awaken to that fragrance being in the drain, yes, that is intelligence. And in wanting to be there more rather than in the drain or change for whatever years we've been in a certain way. I also feel that's a process, right? I mean, also not to get too. I mean, if I've created an image in a certain way and then wanting to, the obsession of wanting to break it and hating that drain and just going there and just is also another sort of a trap, I feel.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Shruti, you have touched upon something very, very important and good that you brought it up.
Because I've been through it, no?
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, I understand in the process,
Yes.
and as much as initially, and that is a natural reaction. Where I'm coming from is the fact that it is natural. I
Yeah.
mean, it is natural to be uneasy and then frustrated. And one is out of ignorance that you talked about that you were not aware.
Yeah.
And the moment you get aware, then the restlessness comes. Oh my God, how could I be? And then we get into another mode. And like I said, another image or self-beating and not um, because we set expectations for ourselves as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I know, how could I do it?
Yeah.
I think that's another trap, and it's a process. And it'll stay till you accept the fact this is how it is.
Yes. And Shruti, what we are talking today is not about uh, knowing that I am in a drain and running away from it, because that would not be sensitivity, because running is not sensitive.
Yes.
Yes.
In sensitivity, I am paying attention to great details,
Everything,
everything,
all inclusive.
all inclusive, without labels that it is a drain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in that, if I am an explorer and I am in so-called label, if you even put a label like so-called in a drain, would I not care to explore the so-called drain?
Yeah.
If I'm truly sensitive and exploring in nature, the fact that you said the wanting to run away from it, that is the same quality of the mind.
Exactly. I
Actually,
mean,
nothing
you're
has
just,
changed. Nothing has
it's like
changed.
you're
Yeah,
just given it another shade. It's the same.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I think I love the word. I think if we can remind ourselves as an explorer, be an explorer,
Explorer,
whatever it
exactly,
is.
exactly. So what we were talking and what I want to stress in today's session is that being sensitive to life is being sensitive to the drain details also.
Everything. Yeah,
Everything.
that's probably I was trying to say in the labels bit as well,
Exactly.
and also in the process from my personal experience to
Yeah.
be
And as you said that if I take it as an exploration and am sensitive to the details of the dream, the pleasure that the joy I would get in that exploration would not really make me want to run away from the
yes,
dream.
yes,
This
like
is
a
truly
child.
sensitive. Yeah, yeah.
It's like a child. Everything's new. It's new. It's just it is.
Exactly, exactly. And here I'm also able to pay attention to it, that what it is that we call as a drain, really. I've been hearing from society and people have been talking about it, but
Mm,
have I really known drain in its fullness? Really, no.
yeah,
So now I'm attentive to the details of the drain also. And
yeah,
in that, almost there is a stop of running, of excessive running of the mind.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here there is a possibility that the quality of the mind
Mm,
changes completely. A mind that was running after material things and now wanting to run after the, run out of the drain. Now this mind somehow doesn't want to run anywhere because it's
yeah.
just joyful in this exploration.
Yeah, the fact that if we've come, if we look at ourselves as soul, right? Even if we say it's Maya and it's a dream and an illusion, it's a choice that we've made to come here, but not like they say, get get caught up.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
Monica, I just want to add something to
Please.
what Shruti said.
Yeah.
Just,
Thank you.
you know, like I relate to the restlessness bit that you mentioned, right? That the moment you kind of you're aware of the fragrance, then there is a restlessness to get more of it. But increasingly, I'm also realizing that uh, like the life that we have lived or we are living had has a purpose. Like the fact that we are appreciating the fragrance is also because of the drain. So it has a role to play and it has played the role, and probably this is the right time when this had to happen to us,
Beautiful.
and it has probably prepared us to enjoy the fragrance in its full glory.
Yeah.
If not for the drain, we probably wouldn't even have appreciated it the way we are likely to do now.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Aditi, the thing that you stressed upon and Shruti also shared, this restlessness, that, and I want to just touch upon it again because see, basically what we are looking at is the quality of the mind usually in day-to-day life is it's a running mind. It's a restless mind anyway. So I am here and I want to be here. There, I am here and I want to be there. I am single, I want to be married. I am married, I want to have kids. I have kids, I want to, send them to college. So everywhere the quality of the mind that I have, it's a running mind. It's a restless mind. Now what happens is the moment I see I'm with Grace's presence, I happen to touch upon something called fragrance, right? The quality of mind even then does not change because the mind is now restless after the fragrance. So we think that maybe a transformation has happened, but really nothing has happened. Earlier I was running through materialistic, pleasures and pains and domains, and now I am running after spiritual gains and experiences. So nothing really changed. The running is still remaining. The quality of the mind is still restless. So I think this is very important for us to understand that a restless mind can never be a sensitive mind. A restless mind can never truly care, to touch, to feel, to love. A restless mind will always be in its agendas and expectations and demands, because it will always be wanting to go from here to there, from here to there, from here to there. And in from here to there is so much of concentration for my plans that I miss out on being sensitive. I don't care to pick that flower or look at the moon, because I don't have time. I am so restless to reach there. So this is very important for us to understand, that if I want to live now life as an exploration, even running after spiritual experiences, or so-called running after fragrances of several kinds, is the same quality of mind, the rotten mind perpetuating itself. Nothing really changed. No? So, what it is then to live a truly sensitive and supple life, full of exploration, where the mind does not want to become somebody. If look at ourselves, we always want to become somebody. We are trying to be a certain image in front of my loved ones. Either I want to portray that I have so many degrees, and I have so much of knowledge. So everywhere there is a becoming, wanting of becoming. I want to be somebody. And what is true freedom is to be nobody. I don't care what my labels are. I don't care what people think about me. And in that not caring about labels, I'm extremely careful, because all my energy is here in attention. My energy is not going, almost draining in maintenance of those images, कि इसके सामने मुझे ऐसा बनना है, उसके सामने मुझे वैसा बनना है, और समाज में भी मेरी कोई औकात है, and all that. Because there we waste so much of energy. And when I am wasting so much of energy there, I hardly have any energy left to be sensitive. So if I really don't bother to be somebody, would it not be then only then I can be really sensitive and supple and take life as an exploration? Because then I would not even bother of what people and society thinks of me. All my energy is here, right here, available, the full potential. So there is no restlessness, because I don't want to be anybody. So there is no restlessness there. Restlessness arises because I want to prove, there has been, owing to our conditioning, I just want to prove that, I exist. There is something in me that is really worth attending to. Why don't you pay attention to me? Now, when I am absorbed in giving attention to details of life, I don't bother whether someone gives me attention or not. I'm so absolutely engrossed. Just like, again, coming back to the example of child, because I think it's really beautiful. A child is self-absorbed. It does not bother who is looking at him and who is admiring his innocence or not. He's completely self-absorbed. And it's that self-absorption in details which the child is even in oblivion. He's ignorant that he is absorbed. So that is the innocence, that the child is completely absorbed in details, feeling, sensing, touching, smelling, not making anything a big fuss. And in that, the child becomes absolutely admirable, because all his energies are in focused, in gathered. They are not being thrown out in the air. Hey, look at me, I am really beautiful, Why don't you give me some attention? Why don't you pick me up? So that self-absorption, it may be on surface, it may look like selfishness, but it's actually something different. It's self-absorption, that I don't want to be anybody now. There is nothing in me which wants to prove myself to the world. And in that, the running stops. And in that, when the running stops, then only can I be truly attentive. I have ample amount of time to be attentive. I have ample amount of energies to look at the moon and the sunset and the changing colors, and because I don't want to be anybody, it doesn't matter. And again, please do not take that when I say that I am nobody, again, that can become a label. So there is no end to the labeling of the mind, right? So yeah, I'm just using it because the words are limited. So yeah.
So again here, I think one of the things that you said, right? So then there's a point, right? You come at where you're just being I think Aditi and Aditi, uh, this is something that I've, sort of worked on also, is that then you come to a point where you're just the observer. You're just reflecting. Like, it's like when you're making tea and that's it, you don't, you're not also looking at the pleasure of probably having the tea and then washing the dish after that. So when you are there at that point making that tea, you just become either the reflector or the observer, if that's something that, I don't know if it uh, goes across. Because sometimes like in the nobody also, when we are trying to label that, like you said, Monica, uh, you're also probably attaching some idea of your own persona there, saying, oh, okay, now I don't care about the world, because and is it truly that? Right? So sometimes we get caught up in that also.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's something that I sort of reflected upon.
Yeah. It's very interesting how we uh, live the usual life, the daily life, and then how we expect actually the society to be, or even our children to be. Because when the children grow up, we often talk that यार sensitivity खोता जा रहा है, पता नहीं कहाँ जाता जा रहा है, and we don't even see that the way we have been living our own selves and the way we have been raising the kid is always after running goals and ambitions and expectations and fulfillments of societal roles. So we never gave the child amount of the ample leisure that we need for sensitivity, and now we complain that the child has become highly insensitive and he doesn't even care for us. Why? Because you never paid any attention to it. It's very saddening. I find it very saddening when I look at teenagers and even young adults who are just madly in rush after which high grade university shall I go to, and all that, and they are not sensitive in their day to day life. They do not bother about how they manage their time. They do not bother about how they keep themselves fit in the body or in the mind. The only thing matters is which is the high grade university I want to be in. And it's really saddening to see, because this is our society, this is our own children. We are responsible for making them almost highly insensitive, because they have been watching me, they have been watching me as a parent. How am I living my life? How am I giving attention to details in life? And if they see the mom running after things, or mom, or dad running after things, goals after goals, the child also child is just wet mud. It just concretizes in that form, because that is what the nurture the child has got. And all of us are here, and we can really vouch that what is real importance of going to a high university, and what is real importance of living a day-to-day life full of sensitivity, suppleness, care, and love. What matters at the end of the day, we all know. We have read enough, we have gone to places enough, universities enough. At the end of the day, we want that people around us, they're caring, they're loving, the society is close, like they're caring for each other. But we see that in day-to-day life we don't pay attention to it. It's only towards the end of the day, when I feel hurt, that I demand that I wish I had a sensitive society. So I think then it becomes almost an urgency, an importance. uh, what am I giving time to in my daily life? What is important for me in my daily life? Because it cannot happen just suddenly. I understand that it is a process, but it has to start someday, right? This process. It will not happen that I wake up from a dream one day and the whole society is changed and I am also transformed. Everything requires effort. So breaking out from the old habit of insensitive living also requires pushes and pulls and effort. I cannot imagine that I follow the same lifestyle and yet a fragrance in my life comes. So both can coexist, the fragrance and the old patterns. That somehow does not happen. Somehow does not happen. It requires a radical transformation. And this is love. This is love, when I see that, yes, this is important and I want to give my life to it. This is love. This is love. Because love is that you gave yourself. Love is a giving, it's a self giving. Now I am giving, I understand the importance of this sensitive living, and I'm giving my life to it. This is an act of love. And I will be discomforted in between. There will be difficulties, there will be challenges, and yet I honor it so much that now I want to walk this path. It's almost like what we do for children, for little children or for our own children. We just give so much of our own being to them. We don't care whether it is discomforting or not. We don't care a bit. If it is important for the child, I will go 5 times a week for a therapy, which is maybe 80 miles from here. I will go every day. So in love, we allow discomfort to be, because it's an auspicious discomfort. So would I not allow, when I see that, yes, I have to struggle a bit owing to the patterns or tendencies I've been living with, but this is a very auspicious discomfort. I must go through this. The auspicious discomfort of labor pains. A new birth is happening. So you say, yes, very welcome. And many people choose a normal delivery, although it is more painful. They would say, please do the normal delivery because I want the child to be healthy. So see what kind of pains we go through for love. I'm sharing this because it will not happen without any struggle or discomfort. We will have to face discomfort and difficulties.
I think flexibility,
Yeah.
like the mind being flexible, because so that's what the rigidity sets in, right? And how do you, not about breaking it away, but not as a force again or an effort, but consciously choosing to sort of whatever, living or doing your things, or even just taking a drive on your car. It was very, like, I recently spoke to somebody, and I was reading an interview rather, and I spoke to them also after that. So in one of the interviews, he's an architect, and he said, he builds homes out of natural whatever earth, So it was nice to hear someone say that he also chooses people, consciously chooses clients. You cannot build a natural home for somebody who has 4 cars in his,
Yeah, yeah.
in his, yes, maybe their process has also taken, but if you still continue to add another, car again in your, expensive modern house, but go to build a natural home because, you have to take this thing. I would like to choose my clients consciously that way there.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I think that flexibility, I think the flexibility of mind also comes very gradual,
Gradual. Yeah.
and see children, I think like how all children, right, by the time you're 11 your ego is forming, you have a certain way of sort of like, I know I have a teenage daughter, and it can sometimes be challenging, but all you can do is be right behind and say, just give gentle nudges and pushes,
Beautiful.
and yes, adapt and do what you can in some way, sort of show them or guide them to living a life of not just purpose but also the way of life that they choose, right? I mean, today there are so many options available, which is interesting because the world is opening up and you see, youngsters, both youth and the old, go ahead in that, on those paths, right? Like you said, even spirituality is because God can also be an addiction.
Bilkul.
So yeah.
One thing you shared, Nandini, the thing that rigidity sets in. I think that is really beautiful because Kabir says that without effort, the deer uh, lost his farm, the beautiful farm. Or no, the deer actually kind of, got into the farm and it destroyed the farm, that destroyed the crops without effort. So where is the effort? The thing that you said, rigidity sets in, and therefore flexibility is what is required of us, the suppleness, the sensitivity. So and how to go about that. So I would like to just shortly touch upon again, maybe I have said it earlier, but just kind of reiterating, when I become aware of my rigidity, that's enough. So, because the thing that is becoming aware of the rigidity is not itself rigid. So, that is the beauty of our own being. It's what a complex being that we have, that there is rigidity in me, and the suppleness to observe rigidity is also there in me. As they say that, या घट भीतर बाग बगीचे एंड या मतलब जो भी डार्कनेस है वो भी इसी के अंदर है, the light is also here. So if I now make my life that, yes, and that's why the path of a warrior, Kabir says, because I have to now almost muscle or gym my muscle of observation, as you were saying, that the moment I see a rigidity in me, I see it, I see it, I see it. And in that seeing itself, something auspicious is happening. So there is no other action that would be needed. That seeing itself is so beautiful that can happen. So that just kind of reminded me when you said rigidity sets in, which is really true for all of us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Monica, I had a question.
Yeah, Shruti, please.
So, mind's tendency to be restless, to escape, and hence no sensitivity. And the idea here is to develop that sensitivity so that, and like you mentioned, I mean, as much as the mind could be running for things in materialistic world, it could also be spirituality. So that nothing's really changed. On the surface, it might seem, oh, I have, but so I get that. How do we develop that sensitivity?
Mm.
How do we not get caught in the restlessness in day-to-day life?
Beautiful.
I understand that you could be like just sit outside and watch the sunset or sunrise or watch things around, or if you're doing what else?
What else? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm with you, Shruti, here. Uh, I understand where you're coming from totally. You know, if there is no agenda that my mind has, owing to the fact that it's now not wanting to run anywhere, and as you said, it wants to develop the sensitivity, in not wanting to run away anywhere, wherever I am, I am. Actually, it's so obvious, this thing, how to. It's so simple and obvious that usually mind is so addicted to complications that it misses the very obvious. So wherever I am, I am. I may be picking up a phone call. I may be doing maybe a message. I may be, doing something in the kitchen. A friend comes in. I want to attend the friend. My kid comes in. I talk to a kid. So wherever I am, I am fully sensitive, fully alive and intense. So one thing which I wrote on the poster is how to be alive and intense. And that is almost on the same lines as you are sharing, that how to be sensitive, because sensitivity also requires a lot of aliveness and intensity. So if now the mind does not want to become anybody or to run to agendas and expectations and fulfill this or that demand, wherever I am, there is no option for me not to be sensitive, because I have nothing else to do. Wow, it's like I am liberated from the bondage of running after my desires. So wherever I am full of intensity, full of aliveness, and whatever requires to be done in that moment will be done. And this is how I develop it day to day, that wherever I am, I do whatever appears right. If I walk and I touch something, or if I see some garbage and I want to pick it up, I say, okay, let's pick it up. If I'm even in the homely space, I'm there, I'm doing my day to day stuff. I'm there because I don't want to be anywhere. If a friend calls, okay, come meet for a coffee, I go. So it's like nothing really changed, but the quality of the mind changed. The tasks are simply there, what the tasks were before also. But something in me has stopped. Something is me is not wanting to catch that train which everyone else catches in the society.
I'm sort of getting it, but I'm not sort of struggling it still.
So what is the struggle?
Yeah, I'm going to share that. Um, you may not be running after what everyone is running after, but you have a life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say goals because I don't connect to that. But let's say you do have some direction. You do want to do things. Um, Maybe to make it simple, let's say it could be as simple as you do need to go grocery shopping, as simple as daily chore, to probably something bigger that you're aiming at. It could be that I need to buy a house for that matter, and I need to start thinking, how do I start to have money or invest money? And for that, I need to probably pick up work or get promoted.
Yeah.
Now, you do have all these um, things to do.
Yes.
How do you create a, like, I'm just trying to figure this out. How do you create that balance where you maintain the sensitivity and not get caught up in the rigmarole or the rush of it?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I also understand that if you are living in a state of awareness, I mean, I can talk about me.
Mm-hmm.
There could be days, there are moments, there could be minutes, there could be hours when I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But many a times I get lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do understand that you bring back, but how do I start reducing that time of being lost?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, to give you an example, which is just like an hour back. So, in the last few years, for whatever reason, for certain people, not getting into the details, and I had seen certain things about them, relatives, right from the beginning, but I used to make peace with it. But somehow in the last 2, 3 years, I'm not comfortable and I'm talking about it. That I don't like diplomacy or manipulation, and I'm no longer going to take it. So I've just shared this with a friend, and I also told that, of course, it's going to come out, and this is natural me that I feel like talking about it, and I feel angry, and I'm feeling hurt.
Mm.
And I also understand that, you can't do much with the hurdle. What's the point of just being stuck in the cycle?
Mm.
Which I understood. But I also saw that somewhere it was so suppressed that just by talking, it helped me heal.
Mm.
My idea was not to get stuck there, but to be able to move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have, to a great extent, been able to come so far in this 3 years because of whatever. But in the evening, like I met that friend and something triggered, right? Because I met that relative. So I started to talk about, of course, the intensity wasn't high, but I saw myself doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe after half an hour, I did catch myself. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I'm again in that negativity, and I'm creating negativity only for myself.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
How do so that's where when I said the sensitivity, if I was sensitive
Mm.
and I was just in that being, even if the trigger came, even if I met the relative,
Yeah.
I like how I promised that it's a fresh start. I'm just going to focus on what is and look at the good things and move away.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things, or how do I increase this quality?
Yeah. It's
Because
almost, Shruti, it's almost like uh, an apple
hmm,
imagining how is it to be like an orange. It's not possible to imagine. Are you with me?
I understand
I,
that, but I don't get the connection.
I will just elaborate upon
Yeah.
it. So the quality of mind that I have right now,
Hmm.
that mind wants to know how it is to live in truth. And the thing that I want to say here is there is no how it is to live in truth, because whatever the present mind will imagine, it will be in the confines. उसके पास इतनी ज्यादा स्पेस नहीं है बहुत इधर उधर जाने की, क्योंकि वो ऐसा एरिया है जो उसने देखा ही नहीं है, वो उसके लिए बिल्कुल नया है.
Hmm.
So the way we do it is we just do it out of love, that owing to the fact that I now want to give my life to this radical transformation, I would not even bother how, I would just be at it. Now, the thing I'll just further elaborate, imagine that there is a drunkard.
Hmm.
When a drunkard steps into the drain, he is completely drunk and he's numb to the senses that he's not able to feel that he is in the drain. So, for a long time, he walks in the drain owing to the fact that he is numb, his sensitivity is not there.
Right.
Right? Now, after 1 hour, when he has been in the drain, he wakes up or kind of, nasha jaise utar jata hai. Now
Hmm.
he's maybe in proper senses. Now he just comes out of the drain.
Hmm.
So if my mind is lost, as you said, in the old patterns, and because the tendencies really, as you said in the beginning, it's a process, they take time, right?
Yeah.
So if I am lost in a tendency for some hours,
Hmm.
and that I relate to being numb and walking in the drain, I say it is okay, walk in the drain as long as you are numb. It's okay. It's life is an exploration, the thing that we discussed. So we have to go through all the phases of life. And numbness is also a phase of life. But the moment I get into my senses, I said, what am I doing here? Why am I in the drain? I get up and get out of the drain and wash myself, and I'm as good as new again.
So
So,
what is that tendency to go back in the drain then? Does that
yeah,
mean the person got drunk
yeah, yeah, yeah.
again?
Yes, drunk again, because it's hard to lose addictions, na? Our minds are addicted to thoughts, and
Yeah,
especially thoughts of vicious character.
true.
Now, it is okay to have a thought that I want to get bread from downstairs and let's go and get the bread. It's a neutral thought. It's a harmless thought.
Right,
But the thoughts that we have usually, which trouble us, are thoughts of sticky character,
right.
and they are addictive. They're very addictive. They almost are addictive like marijuana, hashish, and cocaine. They're very addictive in nature.
Yeah.
So it takes time for me to get out of that addiction, and that is why we say it is a process.
I get that. And that's the reason I had shared the word the process. Probably being, this tendency, let's say, getting into the drain. And I've been observing.
Bilkul.
And as long as initially there was this reaction, why, like beating myself, why do I go into the drain when I know now that I know about it and stuff? I've been through that phase.
Yes.
And then I said that I'm creating another stickiness of not wanting to be there.
Yeah.
And then being okay with it. Just observe. Why
Yeah.
am I reacting now and all?
Yeah.
So of course, the fact that I see myself in the drain again,
Yeah.
and in that state, not obsessing with it, but I do want to be in a state where this addiction, I come out of this addiction at least. There would be so many addictions that you.
Yeah. Shruti, कहीं ना कहीं ना हमें वो एडिक्शन कुछ ना कुछ बेनिफिट
बेनिफिट तो दे रही है,
दे रहा है. हाँ.
100% दे रहा होगा.
Yeah. So
See,
as long as I feel benefited by that addiction and I don't see the harm that it causes to me, I will actually not be able to be open and sensitive, because I love to be in the drain. So when the love of sensitivity overpowers the love of drain,
okay,
then it's an irreversible transformation.
yes, that's the word. I was probably looking at not going back and making it irreversible.
Yeah, so it's like, दो प्यारों की जैसे लड़ाई हो रही है आपस में. So for now, owing to the fact that we have been like that for so many lifetimes, there is a kind of love that I have, attachment that I have for that kind of a life, the kind of addictive life. So
Identity seen there.
yeah. So when slowly I fall in love with the new way of life, and that love overpowers being in the drain, it is impossible that I'm there again. I'm found there again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I would say maybe last 10 minutes for anybody if has any concluding.
Yeah, Monica, I actually had something to share when I was listening to you and Shruti.
Yeah.
In the Upanishads, there's like, how there's like dialogues between, say, Guru and a Shishya, na? So, usme one of the Upanishads, mein the Shishya is asking this question that why do the tendencies or my vrittis, always kind of hold, get the better of me? कि मैं इतना तप करता हूँ, इतना ये करता हूँ, इतना मंत्र, something like this, कि I put in so much effort, and this is not somebody who's, doing a grahest जीवन. This is probably somebody who's in a ashram, living with the guru. So the guru basically, he said that कि ये जो मिट्टी है, like he kind of basically pointed to the body and he said कि basically जो मिट्टी है मतलब यही खराब है. जैसे इन जनरल कि इफ यू आई डोंट नो, जैसे ये जो हर्ब्स हैं, सॉरी, जो श्रब्स वगैरह हैं तो कहीं पे भी उग जाते हैं ना,
बट अगर आपको एक सुंदर सा एक फूल उगाना है तो उसके लिए यू हैव टू मेक दोस एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स ना. बट द नेगेटिव थिंग्स, not a negative thing, the useless things, they just grow by themselves.
Yeah.
जैसे it's so easy to get into addictions but it's so hard to come out.
Yeah.
तो मतलब बेसिकली ये सेड कि मुझे हैरानी होती है ये देख के कि why it's not more common, that it's not a more common knowledge कि ये प्रॉब्लम है ही, you know, कि this is like, and अगर हम ये मान के चलें, you know, it's not me personally,
Yeah.
it's just how the tendencies are, and just, you know, like, you know, again, like, you know, हारोगे तुम बार बार but कोई हार आखिरी ना हो.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just keep moving, don't go get into guilt and कि आय हाय फिर ये हो गया, like just know कि ये तो है ही, but I just have to keep with my, you know, kind of struggle.
Yeah.
So that was it. And again, one more thing, like, you know, how Shruti was saying कि how to do it. I think वही जैसे if you're once, you know, like just sharing my own thing कि जैसे exactly what you were saying कि जब एक रस आने लग पड़ता है, like this also becomes like, I don't know, like then it's more of a happening than a doing. It's just living in more awareness. Like every time I catch myself doing something that does not give me peace, it starts getting bigger and bigger in my eyes ना, like that कि इसमें नहीं मिल रही है kind. तो उससे वो फिर एक, if one is you know, kind of aware enough and wanting to make that change, so it's just, and it just happen one day you realize, oh, I always now do it, you know, it's just a natural thing which comes with awareness and if one is honest, right? Yeah, so.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what like Monica said, right? I mean, radical transformation. So I think before that, maybe one step before would be to make it a radical acceptance. And because it's, yeah, just to accept that even if you go into that little loop again and again, it's when the awareness comes that, you know, then after some time it is a matter of not going through even guilt or anything. It's just something that you probably, you know, it comes, you watch it, and then you probably smile at it and say, oh, it came and now it's gone.
Yeah.
So, and that acceptance comes, and then the transformation automatically, I think, follows. I
Beautiful.
guess.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Lovely. So, thanks everyone for joining. If there is anything, or I think we have left enough seeds now for us to ruminate upon. So, thank you for joining, and thank you for your valuable, you know, suggestions and comments and sharing, personal sharings. You know, really appreciate that, because that is the only thing that makes the sessions rich and alive. So thank you for joining, and thank you for taking out time for the session. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Monica.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Good night.